The stables of Skyhaven reeked of leather, hay, and the acrid musk of dragon mounts. Aaron Vale had grown accustomed to the smell over his 17 years, had practically been born into it. His father had been a stable hand before him and his grandfather before that. The Vale family didn't dream of glory or adventure. They dreamed of clean stalls, healthy beasts, and perhaps an extra copper in their weekly wages. Aaron's calloused hands worked methodically through the morning routine, brushing down the scales of a juvenile wyvern that served as a courier mount. The creature purred under his touch, a sound like grinding stones that most found unsettling, but Aaron found soothing. He had a way with the beasts, everyone said so. Even the most temperamental dragons calmed under his care. Vale, stop daydreaming and get the Skyblade ready. Master Gorvin's voice cut through the stable like a whip crack. The Dragon Guard leaves at midday. Yes, Master, Aaron called back, giving the wyvern a final pat before moving to the elite section where the war dragons resided. These magnificent creatures were 10 times the size of the courier beasts, with scales like polished obsidian and eyes that burned with intelligence. They served only the Dragon Guard, humanity's finest warriors who had bonded with dragons to protect the realm from the void creatures that plagued the borderlands. As Aaron approached Skyblade's stall, he felt it, a tremor in the air like the moment before lightning strikes. The war dragon's head snapped up, nostrils flaring. But the beast wasn't looking at Aaron. It was looking past him toward the eastern sky. Every dragon in the stable fell silent at once. Aaron's blood ran cold. In all his years, he'd never experienced such a thing. Dragons were never quiet. They rumbled, growled, chirped, and roared constantly. But now, an eerie stillness blanketed Skyhaven. The sky darkened. At first, Aaron thought clouds had rolled in, but then he saw them, shapes so massive they eclipsed the sun. Ancient dragons, the Trueborn, creatures from the age before humans had learned to forge steel or build cities. They were legend-made flesh, beings that hadn't been seen in over 1,000 years. Panic erupted throughout Skyhaven. Guards ran for weapons. Mages scrambled to their towers. The Dragon Guard mounted their war dragons, preparing for what could only be an attack. Ancient dragons were untamable, unpredictable, and possessed power that made human magic look like candle flames before a wildfire. Aaron stood frozen in the stable yard as the largest of the ancient dragons descended. Its scales shimmered with colors that had no names, shifting between bronze and starlight and something that hurt to look at directly. The wind from its wings flattened buildings. Its mere presence made the air feel heavy, charged with primordial energy. The creature's eyes, older than mountains, deeper than oceans, locked onto Aaron. The stable lad's legs nearly gave out. This was it. Whatever he'd done, whatever offense humanity had committed, judgment had come. The ancient dragon would incinerate Skyhaven, and his life would end as insignificantly as it had been lived. But the dragon landed with surprising gentleness. Its massive head, large enough to swallow a house, lowered slowly. Lower, lower still, until it touched the ground at Aaron's feet. The ancient dragon bowed. Sarathar? The name escaped Aaron's lips unbidden, as if pulled from some deep recess of his soul he hadn't known existed. How did he know this creature's name? The dragon's voice resonated not through the air but directly in Aaron's mind, in all minds present. Kinslayer, Oathkeeper, First Flame, you have returned. Aaron shook his head frantically. No, I'm just a stable hand. You've made a mistake. Flesh forgets, blood remembers. Sarathar's ancient eyes held something that might have been sadness or joy or both intertwined. You wore different skin then, walked on different worlds, but the soul does not lie. Around Skyhaven's perimeter, more ancient dragons landed. 7 in total. Each one lowered their heads in reverence. The Dragon Guard sat astride their war dragons, weapons drawn but useless. What could mortal steel do against living gods? Master Gorvin stumbled forward, his face pale. Boy, what are you? Aaron's hands trembled. I don't know. I don't understand. But even as he spoke, something stirred within him. Memories that weren't his own bubbled up like water from a deep well. He saw himself, or someone who had been him, standing before a dying star, making a covenant with the first dragons, binding their fate to humanity's. He saw betrayal, a war that consumed galaxies, and a sacrifice so complete it had erased him from existence itself. Almost. I died, Aaron whispered, the truth settling over him like a shroud. I died to save them. To save everyone. The void was going to consume everything, and only by giving up my existence could I seal the breach. You gave all, Sarathar confirmed. But existence is a cycle. What is given returns, diminished perhaps, changed. Certainly, but returns nonetheless. The void stirs again, the seals weaken, and so, you wake. The war dragons of the Dragon Guard suddenly broke their bonds, throwing off their riders, not with violence but with firm insistence. One by one they approached Aaron and bowed as the ancients had done. No, Aaron protested. I'm not a warrior. I'm not a hero. I just take care of dragons. And who better to lead them? Sarathar's laughter rumbled through the earth. You have always been our caretaker, our brother, our first and truest friend. The void comes again. Aaron Vale, who was once called Infinite Flame. Will you remember? Will you stand with us as you did before? Aaron looked at his calloused hands. Stablehand's hands. But when he closed his eyes, he could feel it. The vast network of draconic minds across the world, each one a star in a constellation that suddenly made sense. He could feel the void's corruption, distant but growing stronger, eating at reality's edges. He thought of his father, who had taught him to respect the dragons. Of his mother, who sang him songs about heroes. Of every person in Skyhaven who would die if he remained just a stable lad. I'll stand, Aaron said quietly, opening his eyes. They burned with light that hadn't been there before. I'll remember, and we'll fight. Sarathar's joy shook the heavens.